Hey everybody, I'm Belinda Wasser, also known as Rocket Girl. If you're watching live today, thank you for coming. And if you're watching the replay, welcome, welcome. Either way, if you have any questions or comments, please just put them over to the side in the comments section, and I'll be circling back around. We'll check for questions before we stop today, and then I'll circle back around for all of you watching the replay to make sure that all your questions are answered. I want to welcome you to the Rocket Girl Show. The Rocket Girl Show is presented by the VA Connection. And for those of you who are not members yet, the VA Connection is a professional online community with the goal of educating and connecting virtual assistants all over the world. Right now, as of this morning, we're at 516 members, and we're growing every month. And it's so exciting to welcome the new members. Everyone gets involved with it. They welcome them. They put comments in the group, and it's a lot of fun to watch. I want to invite you to join us, and there's a couple ways that you can do that. One is by visiting Facebook and just typing the Virtual Assistant Connection in the search box up at the top, and we'll pop right up. The other way is to take this bit.ly link, bit.ly.com/ the VA Connection or VA Connection, and drop that into the into a browser, into the link, where you put the link up at the top, and the group will pop right up. So either way, we'd love to have you join us. There are lots and lots of videos there and articles all about best practices, whether you're already a virtual assistant or you're just thinking about joining the profession. So I'd love to share all that information with you. Today, we're going to talk about what to do when you're overwhelmed. It's interesting. When I was thinking about this topic, what I realized was that it wasn't until I understood that everybody gets overwhelmed and it's just a natural part of life that I started to be able to manage it. Before that, I was trying to stop it from happening, and that's just not possible. So I was feeling unsuccessful about that, every time it happened. So what I realized, by realizing that, I can now manage it and not try to push it away. That's like with everything, right? So the first step to learning to manage being overwhelmed is to stop in the middle of it when you're in the middle of being overwhelmed, and to take a minute to think about, what does this feel like? So for me, when I'm overwhelmed, thoughts are sort of darting around in my head. I don't know what to do next. And that is very uncomfortable for me, especially in this kind of work, right? Where we're doing the next thing and the next thing, and I just don't know what to do next. And then I start to feel a little frantic. So when that happens, I just stop and think, oh, I'm overwhelmed. Okay, I know what to do now. The more you get in touch with the feeling, the faster you're going to be able to learn to manage it, so that it doesn't take up, an hour or a day or a week. You can just really sort of drop right into it. And it's something that you do need to practice. Like anything, you'll get better at it, but you do need to practice, and you do need to be aware of it. So let me tell you the steps that I take when this starts to happen to me. The first thing I do is I quiet the noise. So if I'm listening to music while I'm working, I shut it off, and it's amazing to me how much that just quiets everything around me. It's sort of like, okay. Then I look at my desk and I remove everything that's cluttering it up. And it's shocking to me sometimes how much stuff will end up on my desk. This morning, I was looking at my desk, and I have a paintbrush on my desk, and I'm sure it was in my hand, and I sat down and I put it on top of my papers, and I can handle it now. But if I were to start to get overwhelmed, that would be the first thing to go. And don't let it get like that. Take a minute, maybe every morning, just to look at your desk, but remove the cups and the extra plates and the papers and whatever it is that you have a habit of putting on your desk, so that it's a nice, clean workplace. And also take time from time to time to dust it, right? Because we're here all day long, a lot of us. And so make sure it's clean and a nice place to be. After that, you want to minimize distractions. So the first thing that I always do is I turn off my cell phone ringer, because it's letting me know when someone's sending me a comment on Facebook or LinkedIn. And not even just turning off the ringer, but turn off the notifications or put your phone in a drawer just until you can pull yourself a little bit more together. It's a good next step for managing being overwhelmed. Then prioritize your work. So here you are, you're overwhelmed, you have all this stuff going on, and you're thinking, what am I going to do? So pick one or two things, jot them down, and just focus on one at a time. Really important, because what will happen is you'll start to feel you'll complete one. Instead of doing 10% of 50 things, you'll do one thing completely, and then you'll feel some momentum. You'll feel some accomplishment, which seems to be like the opposite of being overwhelmed, right? So that's what you want to do. After that, so the other thing I wanted to tell you is to make sure, another way to make sure that you're not getting overwhelmed is to take regular breaks. Get up from your desk. I know when the weather's bad, I call it taking a lap. I think, okay, I'm going to go take a lap, and I walk around my house, just sort of checking things out. If someone's home, saying hello, just sort of, creating, for me, it's space, creating some mental space. If it's nice outside, I might go out to my garden for a few minutes, say hello to my adorable little chickens that are in the backyard. But just, take a break so that when I get back at my desk, my brain is clear and I can focus. So just remember, this happens to everybody. Paying attention to when it's happening is the key to minimizing how long it lasts. And like all good habits, it definitely takes practice, but it's worth it. So I'm just going to, I'm just going to put these up here for a minute. And I'm going to check over in the comments and see if we have any questions while you take a peek at this. So let's see. Looks like we have a couple of comments. So here, I'm just going to put this up. Not being able to prevent the feeling of being overwhelmed, but rather learning how to manage the feeling of being overwhelmed. Yes, that is the total key, because I can't tell you, there have been times, frankly, when I was younger and before I figured this out, where I just thought, if I could be more organized, or if I were better at my work, this wouldn't happen. So now I feel bad, and then I'm making myself feel worse, right? That's useful. Yeah, I'm glad that you agree with me on that. Awesome. All right, someone else says hi back. There's a little bit of a lag, so what I'm going to do is just pause for a second and see if there's any other questions. And whoops, my mouse is running really fast. And while we're waiting to see if anyone else has a question, I'm going to invite you again to our Facebook community. We'd love to have you. Again, there's two ways to join. One is to type the virtual assistant connection in the box at the top of Facebook, in the search box, or to take this bit.ly link and put it into your browser and join us that way. All right, so I'm going to check one more time. Okay, good. So have a great rest of your day. Thank you for watching the Rocket Girl Show. This is Belinda Wasser, Rocket Girl, signing off until next time. Bye-bye.